see you more clearly, to love you more dearly, to follow you more dearly, day by day. Amen. Please be seated. As I said at the beginning of our service, welcome to a new church year. We've made it, everyone. We successfully got through the last church year. I feel like it's always fitting that we finish out the church year always around Thanksgiving time, a real season of accomplishment. Did y'all have a good Thanksgiving? I know, I asked that knowing that a few of you were sitting next to the person who cooked the turkey, so it's okay to say, yes, we had a good Thanksgiving. Knowing that sometimes when we have all these great big gatherings around the holiday season with our families, that they're wonderful times that we're gathered with the people that we love dearest and love the most. But also knowing sometimes it can be a time that can be struggle. Especially when we find ourselves disagreeing with those we love. Or saying, I love these people more dearly than anyone else. I just hope we don't fight. We had that. Okay. It reminds me of a time when my sister and I, we were having a great ideological debate, despite how much we loved each other, over the proper response after we had destroyed one of our mother's serving bowls. And one of us thought clearly that the best course of action was to take the bowl and spring to our mother and to apologize for breaking it. One of us thought that the best course of action was to throw the bowl into the woods and pretend it had never existed. I was the throw the bowl into the woods camp. And as we debate, now I will say this was like more than 3 decades ago. It wasn't like this happened at last Thanksgiving. My sister and I were 9, 11 years old at the time, engaging in this heated debate over the proper response. And in that moment, despite how much we loved each other, there was no respect between us. We could not respect the other one in the slightest because of our disagreement. And that may sound like a little thing, but I think often about how so many of the deep divides we have between one another, so often they start as little things, don't they? Sometimes they don't actually amount to that much, but they become deep divides. And I look out at families, at our nation, sometimes even within our churches, as we have become a society. I look at the last 2019, and we've become a deeply divided and polarized society where it's not enough to simply disagree with someone who feels differently than we do. We're supposed to look at them as the enemy, as somebody who is a challenge to our very way of life, that we're somehow engaged in battle with, for the soul of our nation, or the soul of our church, or maybe even the soul of our family. So entrenched with these deeply divided battles, dramas. And I think this is a good time for a reminder. A good time for a reminder in the midst of sometimes a very deeply divided world, where Jesus calls us to a startling realization that, y'all, we don't know how much time we have. None of us do. None of us know really how much time we have left. And it's a call to remember to make the most of that time. To make the most of it, and to do like Jesus did on the last Advent, when God loved us so much, in the last Advent, that God would come and dwell with us, and live with us, and love us. Not because Jesus agreed with us about everything, because Jesus didn't agree with us about everything, or because we never did things that Jesus got upset about, because that's certainly not true, right? But because the only thing that mattered to Jesus was that we are the children of God. People made in the image of God, worthy to be loved and to love. And at the end of the day, that's all that mattered when Jesus came to dwell with us and love us. And I wonder, as we get ready for a new church year, as we start Advent 1 today, and we go out and we ask ourselves what it would be like if we strive for this next church year to have a clean slate. Have a clean slate, start anew. As hard as it might be sometimes to seek to forgive those who have slighted us in some way, whether it's our coworker or a neighbor or a family member or even a person in our church. Seek to forgive and let that go, or seek for us to be forgiven, or to let go of some slight that maybe we committed. And to, as we find out the ways in which we disagree with each other, to start from a place of realizing that the foundation that we're called to is not to love each other and respect each other when we agree, but to love each other and respect each other because we're human beings. We're made to. So, this last month, we spent as a month of Thanksgiving. We spent so much time coming together and thinking about all the many things we have to be grateful for, all the many things for which we give thanks. And I hope that we can take the next Sunday, or the next month, this season of Advent. What if we take this a month of every week going out and figuring out how can we celebrate all of those many, many things we have to be grateful for, in how we go and we treat one another out in the world. I would love nothing more than if we all came back every Sunday in the season of Advent with an opportunity to say, this is how I loved somebody this week. This is how I respected somebody this week, even though we disagreed, even though we made different choices. My sister and I hope we've tried to build a relationship where we love each other and respect each other, even after the bowl incident. Even as we continue to find ways we disagree about things sometimes. Because the foundation isn't about agreement. The foundation isn't about the different choices we made. But it's about the fact that God made us both to be loved and to love. So in that sense of not knowing how much time we all have left, but knowing that Christ is coming again, and just like the last Advent, Christ is coming again to love us. Despite our differences, Christ is coming to love us and be loved by us. And with that sense, let us kick off the new church year with a holy Advent, the spirit of respect and love for all of those around us. We may not be able to radically change from 2019, where the world outside may still continue to be polarized and a divided place, and people outside may continue to still say hurtful things about one another. But maybe here, starting here in this church, we can make this a place of loving and respecting everyone despite our differences. Maybe we continue to our households, our families. Maybe when we gather for Christmas this season with our relatives that we deeply love and know we don't agree with, make that a place of love and respect. Our co-workers, where we work, and among our circles of friends. Maybe that's a start. Maybe that's an advent of a new season. So I welcome you all to a holy Advent. I'm glad to see you all here. Thanks be to God. Amen.